Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you could hear me. Oh, that's the chat. Okay, let me bring that down. Are we live? What is this? Yes. Oops. Okay. What is this? Okay. I'm bugging. All right, guys. So, welcome to We Have Arrived Formula One podcast. So, you know what? I think that I'm always into making changes, for the better. I do have a Formula One channel, and I think I'm going to start going live on that channel in 2 weeks because that's when Formula One comes back. And actually, let me share something. Oh, no, I didn't want to share this. Let me take that down. This down. And this down. Yeah. So I have another channel called We Have Arrived. I only put up like 2 posts, and I have to do better. So I think I'm going to just start going live on that channel. Oh, let me go back. And let me bring the judge in. Sorry. Hi.
Howdy, man.
um, yeah, I was listening to you because Ron, y'all long winded, and Ron he asks good questions and stuff like that. But that's why I was like, I'll just push it back. So I mean, we're not going to be on here long, and this is a late show because Formula One started at 4:30 because they were in Miami, the Miami Grand Prix, and this is the first time that Formula One debuted the Grand Prix in Miami. So they started at 4:30. It ended at 6:30, and then you did your interview with Ron. So I don't even think. Oh yeah, let me share some stuff. So who won today? Of course, your favorite person, Max Verstappen.
The whiner,
Yes, he won the Grand Prix.
the spoiled brat with a little talent and a whole lot of personal recklessness.
And Charles Leclerc came in second, and Carlos Sainz came in third. So yeah, I mean, Lewis Hamilton
And
came.
Russell came in fifth, and his teammate Hamilton came in sixth, which brings up some questions. I sent this to you. Aside from Mercedes having an inferior car at this point, is Sir Lewis Hamilton trailing his teammate Russell because of one, lousy pit stop strategy, as you've brought up? Two, is it because Russell has the better experimental version of the car? Three, is it because Hamilton has lost some of his edge and Russell is in fact the better Mercedes driver at this point? Now, the thing you brought up about the pit stop is important. Why didn't they bring in Hamilton under the safety car to change tires when they told him it wouldn't be necessary? So he passed and repassed Russell toward the end, swapping fifth and sixth places. But basically, that just made his tires get shot and go to hell. They were worn out. So what is with Mercedes? They've been calling these very foul shots with him for the last several years when it came to timely pit stops. And Hamilton even got him on the horn on the radio saying, hey, what about it? Now, I pointed out to you that maybe what they're relying on is this almost magic magician stuff that Hamilton has done over the course of his career, where he's been able to win races on totally shot tires. He even won 2 years ago, one race where his tire blew with most of a lap left. So he did the circuit on a flat tire with sparks coming from the wheel. So, I mean, is that what they're doing or what the hell? Now, I noticed Toto Wolff, issued an apology to Hamilton for providing him with an inferior car. Are these guys being required to be test pilots so Mercedes can get data points so they can put in their computer system and run simulations? Because right now they don't have the data points to do that. They ran it through wind tunnels. The car was outstanding, but they didn't deal with it bouncing up and down on a road, which causes the angle of attack of the upside down wing that the bottom of the fuselage of the body amounts to, getting put at the wrong angle of attack and stalling. What's angle of attack? Well, the wing, if this is a wing, you notice it's curved. The air has further to go over the top, so it passes faster, which causes lift relative to the slow speed it's running on the bottom. So it wants to rise up. You can increase the lift by increasing what they call the angle of attack, by pointing the front end up. If you get it too high, it stalls out and it just drops out of the air like a stone. Well, when you flip the wing upside down, so you're trying to get it to lift down, when you get this rocking from the bumps and what's going on, if you increase the angle too much, the upside down wing stalls out, you lose the downforce, the car pops up, and when it pops up, it stabilizes, and then it gets lift down again, or downforce, and it pogos. Now, the problem with Mercedes versus Ferrari is this. Ferrari pogos too, but they don't pogo at the average cornering speed. So their downforce factor is working hard when they go around the corner and holding the car down so it stays where they want it. Mercedes, unfortunately, has designed the car so that their downforce evaporates at the average corner speed. So instead of it being pressed down when it's going around the curve, it's popping up, which reduces traction, and that limits the cornering speed.
Yeah, well,
so it's a real live mess. And
it is a mess, but this is the thing. This is what I mentioned to you, because George Russell is a very good driver. And he has the fastest car between him and Hamilton. But what I also noticed, because he started 12th and he finished 5th, what I noticed is he
dropped back to 15 on that poor start Mercedes had, and he moved from 15th to 5th. Hamilton started on 6th. Somebody got penalized. Yeah, but somebody got penalized because he collided with Hamilton on the first lap.
Right, I get all that, but this is the thing. But this is the thing.
In other words, what I'm saying is, from 8th to 6th, and he couldn't get back past Bottas until the last few laps.
No, but I get all that.
And then you get Russell going through the field.
No, this is the problem. This is the problem, because it's the pit stops. Lewis Hamilton had an issue with pit stops last season, and it cost him at least 2 races, and it almost cost him several other races. Let me get this out. And then the thing with George Russell, he told the conductors, he said, listen, I don't want to come in. I feel fine. I'll come in under a safety car. He's directing the conductors, where Lewis Hamilton, he got on the end. He was like, what do you guys want me to do? You want me to come in? It's up to you. No, it's not up to the conductors. If you feel and you know when you need to come in and change, he should have came in under the safety to change to the soft tires. They were setting it up for him to come in. I don't know what happened, who changed who mind, and he did not come in. It's the pit. First of all, it's the car. He needs a faster car. Second of all, he has to take control of the pit stop. He has to take control of the pit stops, and that's just not happening.
No, He can't. He can't. Let me tell you why.
Russell,
Now, there's
George
what you
Russell
call
is.
no, no. Hold on. There's this thing called seat of the pants driving or piloting. In other words, the inertial factors, the accelerations, one way or the other. You get a sense of what your car is doing, and you can kind of feel the vibrations, listen to the sound. This car, as Hamilton has said over and over again, and as Russell has chimed in on, whatever they seem to do to the car doesn't seem to make any difference. So he's pending on these people with all of the instrumentation to tell him what's going on. Now, the instrumentation picks up on tire pressure, tire temperature, and you notice several times they told Hamilton his tires were overheating, even though they were the hard ones. Now,
No, they didn't tell
with
him
that,
that. No, Lewis
yes,
Hamilton.
they did.
Lewis.
No,
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 wait,
no,
wait,
no.
wait. Lewis Hamilton
Excuse me.
said that.
No,
Wait,
no,
listen.
no,
Let me.
no.
Lewis
Go ahead.
Hamilton said they're overheating, and they said that's fine. Your tires are fine. You just have to. They
I
have to
no.
get used
Listen,
to. You have to break them
listen,
in. He told them that.
listen. That was on the second set. The first set, he came in and changed. The first few laps, he told them, not he told them, they told them to watch your tire temperature. They're overheating. After he got told some laps later, he said there seems to be some tire degradation, and they came back and said what you said, but they had told him first. So
That
yes,
makes no
these
sense. Why
instruments.
would you tell him
Well,
first
no,
just to
no.
turn
In other
around and
words,
say it's
no,
fine?
they are. In other words, they're brand new tires. Okay, something's wrong with them. They're overheating. I need to back off because this isn't working right. See, these instruments also read out in the cockpit to an extent. That's what that fancy steering wheel is with all the buttons and the digital readout and so forth, and the map, the GPS map of the circuit that's on the wheel so he can see where he is and when the curves are coming up and swerves. Now, they did say, watch your tire temperature. Later, he mentioned about it, and they told him to stay out, don't worry about it. But see, one of the things that's gone on is over the years he's been with Mercedes, they've been with this formula since 2016, and that's 6 years. And before that, he was with McLaren that used a Mercedes engine. And he's familiar with a certain handling style on a car. Now, granted, if you deal with something long enough, you get uncomfortable with anything outside of that, and it doesn't work too well with you. I imagine since he is the old seasoned pro with many years of experience and holds every record except number of championships for which he is tied, he's gotten pretty damn used to a certain kind of handling with a car.
Let me read
Now,
this.
Russell,
Oh, let,
this is important because I've done things involving this where I've tried to switch to something new, like firearms. With certain kinds of pistols I've been shooting for 50 years. Hell, I can go out and with somebody's strange edition and burn a big ragged hole in the center of the target at 25 yards without trying too hard. But if I try something different, I might not do that well unless I'm familiar with the platform. So you take this kind of car where you've got a driver who, from the time he was 21 until he's 37, that 16 years has gotten very familiar with the input that the car gives him when it's doing certain things. And then you swap that around totally. That could mean you've got a damn good driver. It's just that car is not suited for him.
all right, let me read this because he says Lewis Hamilton extra pit stop felt like a gamble I didn't want to take at Miami. So Lewis Hamilton said the late pit stop Mercedes offered him and he declined to take felt like an unnecessary risk as he once again bemoaned the timing of the safety car. Hamilton was relegated behind Mercedes teammate George Russell late on, with Russell able to make a stop for fresh tires under the safety car after a long stint on the hard tires propelled him up the order. So you tell me, so basically he said with the safety car still out, Hamilton was asked by Mercedes if he wanted to make another stop, to which he replied, you tell me, man, I don't want to lose a place to George. Well, he ended up losing a place to George.
Well, exactly. But you see, what's going on is you get arrogant rookies who know every damn thing, and you get seasoned pros who will solicit advice. He did, but it's still your responsibility to reject it or accept it. And he rejected it, and he stayed out.
But
He
that's
asked
the
for
problem. No, but that's the problem.
well, but you see,
He's a
it's
season. Wait, wait,
still.
wait. He's a seasoned driver. But even if you knew if you knew anything from last season, you had issues with the pit stops that you were relying on
I know
conductors.
they had
So
no.
at some
Yeah.
point, you have to take the initiative and make the decision yourself as a seasoned driver.
Okay. Okay. Let me break it down. Let me break it down to you this way. You were on his engineering staff. You were a hot shot that Mercedes hired because of your grade point average as you were going through engineering in your university. And you aren't even 30 years old. And you're going to gainsay the man that holds record for most fastest laps, most pole positions, most times led a race from start to finish after starting on pole, who has the greatest number of victories in the 84-year history of Formula One, which I put back to 1934 with the Mercedes W25. Okay, you're going to tell him and overrule what he tells you, or you going to offer up something that they will roast your ass for, and you'll lose your six-figure job because you gave the wrong advice. Most people would say, he's the expert, he's the general, let him make the call. That's what happens. See, when you get a rookie like Russell, don't nobody give a goddamn. He's a rookie. This is his first year
But
with
it played
Mercedes and
out.
his third on.
Right.
Yeah, but listen to me. It's on the track. So what happens is everybody gets brownie points for that. But if somebody said, man, come on in here, he's coming in. And if they fuck up, well, mess up on that, it doesn't make any difference. But if Hamilton does what he does, it's like when I had my show, the employees who are 23, 26 years old, they were scared as hell that I might bark at them. So they had a problem with showing the appropriate kind of initiative
they asked
because
George, but
they didn't want to risk.
But this is the thing. They asked George, what did he want to do? And he gave an answer. This is what I'm saying. They asked him. He didn't tell them. They did ask, and he said, I want to stay out. I'll come in under a safety car, if a safety car comes soon, which it just so happened did. And the thing is, when they ask Lewis Hamilton gives it to them to make the decision. And what I'm saying is, it has to come a point to where, especially learning from last season, and you don't have a really good car, you need to stay on top of the pit stops. Let me just, I want to pivot to this real quick. So
may I interject? One thing you're not accommodating is this. Lewis Hamilton had already made his mandatory pit stop. This would have been number 2. At that point, Russell knew he had yet to make his very first pit stop, so he could afford to stay out longer before he was going to have to make it anyway.
No,
so here is the question. No, he had to make a pit stop. That's mandatory. He was on those hard tires for a very long time.
Right.
So he said, bring me in if they have a safety car. Rather than bringing me in now, I'll stay out as long as I can. I know I'm going to have to come in. So as soon as he got the safety car, he got his first and mandatory pit stop. Hamilton had already changed from medium to hard tires and had about 20-some laps on them.
No, he didn't make a stop.
When he asked that question.
No.
No, he made it. You have to make a stop.
No.
What has happened is Hamilton came in very early and made a stop
To what? To the
and change
hard?
from medium to
No.
hard tire. Yeah,
No. You don't
I'm looking at it right.
look at it
Well,
because
look,
he
I'll
can't wait, wait,
send
wait,
it.
wait. Because
I'll
Lewis,
send it that to
yeah,
you.
Lewis Hamilton started with the mediums. He switched to the hard on his first stop, but that was after Russell.
No, excuse me. Wasn't after Russell. Russell didn't make but one stop.
Wait,
He
wait,
had
wait. Oh, yes, yes, yes,
almost
yes,
30.
yes, yes, yes. Because wait. Hamilton was going to switch to the soft from the hard. Yes. So
Yeah,
you're
that
right.
would have been
Yeah.
his
Um,
second pit stop.
right, right,
So
right.
what I'm saying is, be fair about this. The problem when Russell says, "I'm going to stay out longer, just wait until we get a safety car, if we get one. Otherwise, I'll just have to come in because I can't complete the race unless I make a stop for tires." So Hamilton had already switched from hard to mediums, and they were talking about
No, medium to hard.
mediums to hard, and they were talking about for the last
But
few
let me ask you
laps
this.
what could he do with soft.
All right,
So that was a whole different
but
equation.
let me ask you this because I want to move on to something else. Hards make you go faster. Correct.
Not necessarily. It depends on the track. If there is a track where you can get a lot of downforce because of the speeds the cars go around the corners or the number of corners where that happens, and the track is sufficiently abrasive, then the hard tires are not going to hurt you because they are not going to scrub out and blister. If you are on a track that has medium friction because of the road surface, and the speeds, the average speed at which corners are taken, then you might want to go to mediums because you get better traction. Now, the question goes is on that balance of changing tires on a pit stop, how many do you want to have? And how far can you go into the race before your tires just wear out to the point they're useless? That was what cost Hamilton with that bad call by the race director
Mm-hmm.
last season to lose the championship. But you see, 3 years ago, Champion came in with a bare rim sparking because his tire blew. So he's had a history of being Merlin the magician
Mm-hmm.
with bad or worn out tires. So people take these
So it
things into consideration,
right. So it
and
depends on the
sometimes the
track.
guys need a little confidence. The track
Yeah.
and
All right.
also the average speed.
So all
You're
right.
going around the curve or you're braking heavily from 220 miles an hour down to 95. Well, hell, you might get a whole lot of friction when you go around that curve. You're braking from 220 down to 190.
Right.
Maybe it depends upon the friction of the surface. And driving around city streets, some
Right.
of them are smooth, some of them are not.
All right, so I want to talk about a little bit further on George Russell because George Russell is a really good driver, and
He is.
I can see his potential, throughout the years. So, but what I want to see this year, because right now Lewis Hamilton is really not going to win the champion. It depends, but
Maybe.
what I want to see Russell battle Max. I want to see that
Well,
battle.
what I told you is if the beginning of the season before it started, and this was based on the first practice at Barcelona because before they swapped chassis and officially declared the current chassis to be the chassis, which they're pretty much stuck with. You remember in Barcelona for most of the practice sessions, Mercedes was running 1 and 2, which was good. And I said at that time, if this car holds up, what's going to happen is you'll see that Hamilton will win another championship. Red Bull is going to have reliability problems because they are not an engine manufacturer and don't have all the magic tricks. Ferrari is putting their stuff together and is going to give everybody a run for the money. And Russell is going to beat the crap out of Verstappen, assuming the Mercedes runs, because he's a good driver. And Verstappen and Leclerc and
Hmm.
a couple others I think are actually better drivers than Verstappen. They just aren't as reckless.
Well, let me
So,
say this about Verstappen
but
because it looks like this season, because I put this in my notes, that Verstappen is actually driving more professionally this year.
of course, because he's the
They
champion, but
and
the
then
other
they know,
thing
and I
is,
think they got on his ass too in the off
yeah,
season.
they
That
did. But
yeah.
the other thing is that Red Bull has reliability problems. They talked about that. That's because Honda isn't prepping the engine design
Hmm.
and building the engines.
Um.
But they have what is the see, they had to change their car less than anybody else did to comply with the new rules. And I
Mhm.
thought Mercedes was throwing away last season to get ready for this one, but apparently it was Verstappen willing to break his neck, risk his neck, to run a car that was being set up for this year, and it wasn't Mercedes. Mercedes was into if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, no, 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 because it isn't in a new car because of the new rules.
No, that's what I'm saying
Oh,
from last
oh
year.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
It's
had that attitude if it
right,
ain't broke, don't
but
fix it.
now wait
But
a
see,
minute.
other than the aerodynamics, there are other things that you can anticipate.
But this is what.
And
But this is what
Red
I'm.
Bull doesn't bounce like
Right.
everybody
But this is
else's.
what I'm this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Mercedes is this is a throwaway year for Mercedes because Mercedes is using this to collect data to have to make sure that Lewis has a superb car next season.
Yeah, but here's the point. They had a damn good car if it didn't bounce. Probably the best out there. See, they have
When?
an no, listen. Mercedes, if the car didn't bounce, would probably be the best out there. Why? Because they set it up in a wind tunnel that is the most sophisticated in the industry. The car has outstanding aerodynamics when it doesn't bounce. But what they forgot was that these tracks move up and down, which causes the airfoil to be stalled out predictably
Mhm.
at the wrong speed, so the cars pogo all over hell.
I
Ferrari pogos, but it pogos at a point where it is faster than
That's
the
what I was about to say.
average
It's
cornering
faster.
speed.
Yeah. Let me ask you this though.
For Mercedes, pogos right at the average cornering speed, which is the absolute worst time because you lose traction. And when you try to overcome it by using the front and rear wing, you add so much drag that you slow down in a straight line. And when that stops being effective, you don't have the undercarriage downforce, so you lose speed around the
Mhm.
corners. That car is
Well,
messed up.
let me ask you this though. So then, what should we expect from Lewis Hamilton for the rest of this season? I don't know what
Well,
to expect. I think you know
they've
what I
got
let
they've
me answer it first. I expect that I would love to see him finish in the top 5. I think that's my goal for Lewis Hamilton. He
well,
can,
he might even do better than that because Leclerc, Sainz, and Verstappen, well, hell, Red Bull and Ferrari are going at it
this
very
season. Yeah.
heavily.
Yeah.
So there's no guarantee that either one of them is going to take first or second
Right.
because the two teams
There's no
have very good
clear, yeah.
talent.
And there's no clear champion
Yeah,
so
so
far. Yeah.
yeah. So what's going to happen is if Hamilton gets a car, he's probably the best driver out there if he's got a decent car. And he can win races. And if he wins a few, he'll be champion again. And we'll see what happens. But here's the problem. Again, you're 37 years old. You have all of these offers in media. You're a knight of the realm. You have all these opportunities to be spokesman for this, that, and the other. You've got outstanding investments of your money. Everybody's trying to get you good. You have sweetheart deals about having Mercedes dealerships that you will control. You can be a very rich man. Now you're 37 going on 38. And remember, Martin Luther King and Malcolm only made it until they were 39. So you have an opportunity with a lot of future in front of you. Why take your life into your hands, risk your neck for what is an unsafe car? You do still have every record on the books, and you're tied for one of them number of championships. So Verstappen, Russell, and
Hmm.
Leclerc et al., they have risk that they're willing to take because Verstappen in his seventh year won his first championship,
Yeah, well,
right?
well, first of all, I don't, they don't, Verstappen, well, not Verstappen, but let's Leclerc, Ferrari, they don't have to take much risk because they have a superior car. Because this is where I want to go to now, because Leclerc, he needs to be more aggressive, him and Carlos. They're not aggressive at all. If you're going to compete against Max Verstappen,
You're missing what I'm
they're,
saying,
but I'm
dear.
just saying they're not
I'm trying
aggressive.
to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. You have all of this in future. At this point, it's like I've completed my 25 missions or my 50 combat. I've completed 46, 47 of my combat missions. Screw this crap. I ain't going out there when I'm already leading
Who
in
are
the
you talking
theater for
about?
being a high scoring ace. I'm talking about anybody. See, when you start getting close to the end and you're already established, there is no need to take chances for a successful career.
But
In other
I'm
words,
talking about
you
young
have a
drivers who's just getting started. Look,
okay,
Charles
yeah, well,
Leclerc,
same
Max
thing with
Verstappen.
I'm I'm talking about Max Verstappen is a fool. He has no common sense.
It doesn't matter.
Everybody on the track
He's
says
competitive.
everybody has to drive. No, that's not
He's
competitive.
he's winning this year.
No,
He's
listen
winning.
to me. No, what? Listen to me. What that means is fighter pilot, infantryman, racing car driver. In life, when you've got a reckless fool, they take too many damn
Well,
chances.
he's not
So
being
the
reckless this year though.
he is being
No, he's
reckless.
not.
But the point is, no, the point is the cars are more evenly matched. And the way they're set up, stuff that he was doing last year, you just simply can't do with the car.
Right, but this is okay, this is
Now,
what I'm saying.
one of the main things that's holding him back right now is they had a take everybody to Jesus meeting, and they said, look, this thing, and they probably went back over the video clips to show him, see, you can make one move to defend your position on track. You can't make three going into the same corner. If that happens again, you're going to get jacked up because there are a lot of people complaining about this, including the drivers and including all of these other manufacturers that just say this shit ain't going to happen.
This is what I'm
So, yeah,
saying.
they
If
get
you
on.
have two cars, two superior cars, Red Bull and Ferrari, they're both great cars this season. It's the driver. If you have two different drivers and one is very competitive and very aggressive, the other one, yes, he's competitive and he's good, but he needs a slight edge. Carlos Sainz, I'm sorry. That was wait. That was a horrible
Okay.
start. Wait, let me finish. Ferrari was 1 and 2 when he started the race. Carlos Sainz dropped 2 places and ended up finishing third. And my thing is, if you're competing, first of all, this season is about Max and Carlos and Charles Leclerc, unless Russell can't compete. My thing is, if you're going to compete with Russell, you have to be competitive and you have to be aggressive. Lewis
Yeah, well,
Hamilton, let me
look.
finish. Lewis
Yeah.
Hamilton is aggressive. He is competitive. He's just not reckless. Charles Leclerc, he's not reckless, but he's not aggressive enough.
Well, let me put it this way. Leclerc is a fine race driver, so is Russell. Here's what you're talking about. Anytime you have an, okay, I used to play football. I played at Dorsey High and UCLA. I quit after a couple of years at UCLA. All right, I was going to be a pro. Now, I was a safety. I was also a running back, and I did pretty damn well as a running back. Now, I'm looking at this situation, and I'm saying, okay, I'm coming into the line. I can leap, step on this guy's shoulder pads on my team. hurdle the defensive tackle, crash into the linebacker, probably knock him down because I weighed 205 at the time. And I said, yeah, but is it worth it? That's like when I started skiing, my ex was a ski instructor up in Aspen. She could really ski, but I had to earn a living. So would I just cut down on the turns, keep up with her, and I'm looking at the GPS and my goggles that had them in there, and I'm going 85 miles an hour, and I'm going, back off. You have some sense. It might be fun, but use some due prudence because you can't afford to get jacked up and get broken up and put a lot of cast on your body. So, in other words, you have to exercise the prudent function. You can be out here again. So, when you get Russell and Leclerc, Sainz, and you get Perez, what happens is they say, this fool's going to kill himself and we won't have to worry about him. And we've got good cars. We can push them with insane limits. Now, they have not had this history of accidents that Verstappen is replete with. There are several that could have gotten him killed. And he almost killed Lewis Hamilton last year when he ran over Hamilton's car and the new halo saved Sir Lewis. So that being the case, you sit there and say, okay, let this guy go ahead and take all these reckless chances. It's like a billionaire told me up in Aspen. He said, my first cousin, he got a lot of money, but he wound up doing time in a federal penitentiary for what he did it for because he just took too many damn chances. Now, I saw no need to do that because give a couple of years and I'll get further ahead than him and he will be in the cooler while I'm out doing my thing. So Verstappen, remember I predicted he's either going to kill somebody or get himself killed or mutilated or badly injured by what he's doing. Now, in Formula One, a whole lot of people have died. At one point, there were 4 or 5 first-rate drivers died every year in Formula One. Hamilton's idol got killed when he was leading in the championship for that year. A lot of people have been injured. You had Mario Andretti, who was the second U.S. driver to become Formula One champion. But his predecessor, Phil Hill, an American who used to drive for Ferrari regularly, he became world champion for the first time when his co-driver, a guy named Count Von Trips, was leading at Monza in a Ferrari, and he lost control, ran up on an embankment, flipped, got thrown out, and killed. And Phil Hill wound up being world champion that year because his teammate died. So that 3 years ago, there was an up-and-coming somebody that said it was going to be the hottest thing going, and he was in Formula 2. The race on the same weekend at the same track with essentially the same design cars with a slightly less powerful motor. Somebody was right in front of him, swerved out of the way, and he rammed into the rear of another car and had both legs cut off above the knees.
Okay. So, all right.
That could easily happen.
Let me bring this
And
up.
remember the guy that ran into the railing and the car burst into flames? Fortunately, he didn't get trapped under the railing, but was able to get out, and he just suffered
Yeah.
scorched hands.
Yeah. Let me bring this
See,
up.
that can happen.
So I noticed compared to other seasons, and I'm comparing it to this season. So Bottas, when he was under Mercedes, he always yielded to Hamilton if they were like behind each other, so that Hamilton could go ahead and compete for the championship. Perez for Red Bull, he yields to Verstappen. He plays the wingman to so that Verstappen could be competitive to win, the race. But I noticed though with Russell Simmons being Lewis Hamilton's teammate,
Not Russell
I mean
Simmons,
not Russell, I'm sorry,
Russell,
George Russell. I
George
noticed with
Russell.
George Russell, I noticed with him, he doesn't yield. They are actually competing against each other to win. And usually it's one driver will yield so that the other driver could compete to win.
Well,
It's like Russell is like,
FYI,
I want to win.
FYI, before I got you interested in Formula One,
Well, I always
one
been
of these years,
interested. It's
yeah,
just more
but
detailed.
one of these years, Hamilton's teammate beat him for the world's championship, and they were racing so hard against each other that on at least one occasion on lap one, they collided and took themselves out of the race.
Who?
So he was on last race as a commentator. God, I can't remember his name. It was one and only world championship, and he retired immediately. That's how they brought in Bottas, and then Bottas is replaced by Russell. Bottas has never been a bad driver. He just focuses on the road, and I look at the way he drives, and he's not situationally aware. He keeps getting ambushed by people, but he was able to hold off Hamilton for the longest time until there was a tire degradation. Hamilton got past him.
But that's because of the car.
And
That car, that car,
yeah,
that
but
car.
this is tires. What's going on is, remember, a couple of times Bottas out-qualified Hamilton. In fact, Bottas qualified, for the season. His qualification record was better than Hamilton. In other words,
This
he
season?
came out on pole last season with Mercedes. He came out on pole more times than Hamilton did.
I don't remember that, but
And,
okay.
well, yeah, but I'm just saying it depends. See, there are drivers who, great champions, great drivers, they weren't that good at doing high-speed laps with nobody to race against, but they were pure hell if they were on somebody's tail so they could feed off of what the car in front of them is doing and beat that car. They would breeze past them and get ahead, but then they could be caught up with, and it would be a close race for the rest of the course before they got all this DRS, drag reduction system thing.
All right.
Now, I think one other comment very quickly. I think that the race organization has overdone this crap about trying to promote good racing to the point where the cars are being too badly restricted and too compromised with too few means of exercising initiative. In other words, they're specifying too many things design-wise have to be uniform. I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, all right. I want to go into something else that was going on this weekend, right? So they put, and this is ESPN.com on the Formula One. Defiant Lewis Hamilton says piercing will stay. 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton said he has no intention of removing his body piercing despite being given just 2 race exemptions to resolve the issue. I want to play this.
Yeah, I found it fascinating.
I feel like it's almost like a step backwards if you think of the steps we're taking as a sport, and the more important issues and causes that we need to be focused on, and really pushing this. I think we've made such great strides as a sport. You know, look, we're here in Miami. This is such a small thing. I've been in the sport for 16 years. I've been wearing jewelry for 16 years. I mean, I only ever have my earrings on and my nose ring, of which I can't even remove. So it seems unnecessary for us to get into this spat, and so I'll try to communicate and work with Mohammed. I think, you know, I'm here to be an ally of the sport of Mohammed and Formula One, and as I said, I think we've got bigger fish to fry, bigger things to do, more impact to have. So I think that's really where the focus should be. I feel like it.
Yeah. So I agree with him. Like, and then now, of course, the
A
underwear.
well put, vague threat.
Um,
Yeah, and the issue about the underwear too. You got to wear fireproof Nomex underwear, no drawers that feel soft against the skin in the private parts.
oh, also he did complain. He said the bumpy Miami Grand Prix. It was a little bumpy in one of those curves. Um, but and then
Yeah, and it really slowed the car down.
yeah, and the thing is,
But
Vettel.
remember too, in one practice, who was the fastest car driver?
I don't know who, George Russell.
Russell.
Right.
Hmm.
So the thing, so and also, but just going back real quick to the jewelry and then the other rules when they was talking, this was they mentioned in the beginning of the season the fireproof underwear or something. So Vettel, and I thought I had that picture. I gotta find the picture. He wore underwear on top of his uniform just to be funny, because they have like it's just like I don't. It's with the fireproof technically they're going free ball because the fireproof thing is not really underwear or whatever, but they're just basically that's just them lashing out about the rules
Let me
because
explain what it is.
wait, let me just show this because Hamilton, when he was talking about the jewelry, he's sitting here, he purposely put on all his jewelry, his watches, rings, and necklaces as being defiant against what the rules are. So, and then Vettel had put on underwear over his uniform in protest of the new fireproof thing they have to wear as undergarments.
Youthful rebellion.
Yeah, I mean it's
Frankly, I don't. Frankly, I think he detracts from himself with all of the ear piercings and the nose piercing. That kind of, to me, looks like a pimple. But I mean,
listen,
why sweat the small stuff?
right, like
I
yeah.
mean, like he's supposed to
I
get to
mean, was
go
there an
through all of that to
incident
get
that
the nose stud
happened?
out.
Like, yeah, what they
Well,
never wear jewelry. I don't get it.
they claim that the fire would focus the heat and could cause serious injury to
No, no, no. But
a
did
driver.
the
So what?
drivers did the
You
drivers
get your
wear?
earlobes burnt.
Yeah, but did the
Yeah, but
drivers
let me
wear
explain how
jewelry in
that
the
works.
past? Did the drivers wear jewelry in the past?
No, they didn't. How many men had ear piercings or nose piercings or whatever they do
No.
now? That just wasn't an issue. But what they're doing is they're taking somebody and they're getting the opportunity to get at him because one, they want a great white hope. They don't look at it as a healthy thing from their perspective that the only black man to have really gotten in and raced in some official races comes out the GOAT, greatest of all time. Now, that black man that you may have seen that was interviewing the drivers after the race was over, he was black. He was from the U.S. and he had tried to get into sport but was not successful. All right. But Hamilton is the only black man to actually break into the sport. And I counted from starting in 1934 when they had a maximum weight limit that they thought was going to slow the cars down. And Mercedes and Audi, Auto Union at the time, built their cars out of aluminum so they could make big, huge, powerful cars made out of aluminum and beat the weight limit. As a matter of fact, that's why the cars are silver. Their racing color was white, but Mercedes and Auto Union were both overweight at the beginning of the weigh-in period, so they sanded the paint off down to the bare aluminum overnight and just barely crept in under the weight limit. And these efforts to slow down cars usually don't. They just make it actually more expensive for a team to race competitively when they get to talking about our objective is to cut down the expense. See, Mercedes had a brand new commercial talking about how fast their race cars were that aired for the first time for this Miami race when American attention's focused on it, but they don't have the fastest car anymore. And
Mhm.
that commercial was made last year when they did. or
Um,
arguably the fastest, before the championship got decided. It's about a year old, and it was made the middle of last year. But now they may have gotten the constructor championship, but they certainly didn't get the drivers championship.
mhm.
So you see, there's a
So
lot of money.
right. Let's look at this real quick because this is a driver stand, and we got about under 10 minutes left. So this is so far. This is race number 5, Miami, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so Charles Leclerc, he is number 1 with 104 points. Max Verstappen, 85. Sergio Perez, 66. George Russell, 59. Carlos Sainz, 53. Lewis Hamilton, 36. Lando Norris, 35. Um, Bottas, 30. Alcon, 24. And the top 10 roundabout, Kevin Magnussen, 15. So
Magnuson.
Magnussen, this is, so let's take the top, let's include Lewis Hamilton, but really the top 5 is anybody's race. It's no clear championship
That's
this
true
year.
too. That's true too. Hamilton was down almost that much in points wise from the top versus Verstappen midway through the season. So what do they have? 23 races on the
1,
circuit
2,
this time, and we
3,
just
4,
finished number
5.
5.
Right.
So that leaves 17, 18 more races, or if that Russian race isn't compensated for, it leaves 17, which, by the way, was longer than the entire season was year before last because of COVID-19. It wasn't but 16 races.
Mhm. And this is a conductor standing. You have Ferrari 157 points, Red Bull 151, Mercedes 95, McLaren 46, Alfa Romeo 31, Alpine 26, Alfa Tauri 16, Haas 15, Aston Martin 6, and Williams 3. So first time Williams in the top 10 in a minute, a long time.
Well, you know what's really weird? In the all-time category for constructors championships, I think Williams is actually number 3 or 4.
Oh wow.
When the guy left and his daughter took over, she just let the team tank.
Mhm.
So they kept the name, but she had to sell it because she just couldn't do anything about it. She didn't have the personal qualities to be an effective leader. The
Mhm.
drivers fought with each other. The mechanics were at war with the drivers and each other, and the team was a shambles.
Well, let's take a look at this. So, all right. So, yes. So, this was race number 5, the crypto.com Miami GP Grand Prix. So, next week, there's no race. So, they're coming back in 2 weeks, the weekend of May 20th to the 22nd for the Pirelli Spanish Grand Prix, which is in Barcelona, Spain. And then the weekend after that, so it's 2 back to back, they're going to be in Monaco the weekend of May 27th. And then they're going to have a break, more than a 2 week break. More, look, no, 2 week break.
No, 2 week break.
What is
What
this?
is this?
Is that you?
Is that you?
What are you doing? That is you. How I can hear myself. What are you pressing? Okay.
Okay.
No.
No.
What did you hit?
What did you hit?
I can't hear
I
you, but
can't
I
hear
can
you,
hear
but I can
me.
hear me.
Stop touching.
Stop touching.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't, I can't, I hear him. I had to mute you because I hear me talking. I don't even hear you. Say something. You done did something. It's an echo. He had to go out and come back in. I'm so sick of his little head thing. It's messing up. Well, all right. So this is the rest of the schedule so far. So when they come back, they're going to be in Barcelona, Spain, then in Monaco, then they take a 2 week break. Then they're going to be in, how you pronounce this? Azerbaijan. That's somewhat in the Middle East. And then right after that, Canada. And then they have a 3 week break, I believe. No, 2 week. Then they're going to be, excuse me, in Britain, the Silverstone circuit. Oh, what I'm doing? know where he went. Maybe he's come back. And then after, what is this? Okay, so yeah, so July. Hello. Yeah.
Hi, I'm back. I got dropped, it looks like. Hmm. Oh, well.
1 second. All right. Yeah.
Let me
I,
see. The last race of the season is going to be.
so I was just going through it. So the so the next one.
They'll be racing until the 20th of November,
Right. So the next race would
and
be in
that's round 22.
right. The next race would be in Spain, and then after that Monaco, and then there are 2 weeks hiatus. June there'll be in Azerbaijan, and then after that Canada. Then they're taking another break, and they're going to
Azerbaijan.
yeah. Then in Canada, then they're going to take a break. Then it's going to be the Silverstone circuit in Britain. Then July after that, July the 8th, Austrian Red Bull. That's their territory. Then they take a 2 week break, come back on July 22nd. They'll be in France. Not in France, yes, the Lenovo French um, race. And then the weekend right after that is going to be the Armaco Hungarian Grand Prix. Then they're going to be on a hiatus for a month. And then when they go on a month break, they're going to come back and be in Spa, Belgium. I remember last year they couldn't finish that race because of the rain. And
And
then
by the way, they gave that damn thing to Verstappen.
yeah, that
There
was
was
crazy
no
because of the
reason they shouldn't
qualifying.
have called that race on the count of rain, but they sent that damn safety car out. The same Mays, who was the race director that allowed Verstappen to get that championship by what they now acknowledge was human error on his part. He sat there, sent the safety car out, and had the drivers do 3 laps.
Right. And then so
Then
after
they did 3 more under the safety car. The safety car came in. That allowed Verstappen to get half the race credits because he qualified on pole and there was no
right.
racing in the entirety of the event. That was a giveaway, and I thought that was more of this great white hope nonsense.
Mm. All right. So
Now,
after the
if you're going to
spa,
let somebody race, be fair about the damn thing and quit trying to, we want racing, we want somebody besides this colored
yeah,
boy
I don't know
to
if they're
be the
well,
champion.
I
That
don't
was just foul.
right. I don't know if they're I don't know, we'll do that again. But anyway, so after the spa race, they go back they go to Dutch, this the Heineken Dutch, the Circuit Park Zandvoort something. So they're gonna have one, two, just about yeah, 2 races around that Dutch European area. Then after that, so there's a lot of races. So August, the end of August, and the next 2 races will be back to back. So Heineken, then they're going to Italy again for the Pirelli Italian, and then September 23rd is Russia is canceled. They did cancel
Yeah,
the Russia.
basically, they're going to finish up round 21 in Brazil on the 13th of
I'm going
November.
through each date. Let me finish.
They ain't going to remember
It
this.
doesn't matter. September the 30th, they're going to be in Singapore. Then October the 7th, which is my birthday, the October 7th weekend, they're going to be in Japan. Then they have a 2 week break, October 21st. Aramco in the United States, that's when they go back to Texas. And then on 28th, Mexico, that's Perez territory, Chico, not Checo. And November 11th, Heineken Brazil. Then the 18th, what is this? Ethan
Abu
Abu
Dhabi.
Dhabi. Yeah, Abu Dhabi. That's it. Oh, I thought they had a December race. So November 18th is the last race.
No, that's the 20th of November, which goes a long time. It'll still be warm in Abu Dhabi, but
No, I thought they
it's
had no.
it
Listen. Last year they had the championship in December, but this one the championship is in November.
yeah, but they usually never run races in December. That was COVID-19.
Oh, okay.
They were trying to add on that. So Brazil will be south of the equator, so it'll be summertime or thereabouts
In November
when
is
you get
summertime in
into
Brazil?
November. It's the opposite of the way it
Right.
is
Oh, for
now.
us. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. Guys, can you please subscribe to We Have Arrived F1 YouTube channel? Because in 2 weeks, when Formula One return in Spain, we're going to go live on that channel because I don't want to confuse the algorithm with this channel because this channel is news and politics, not sports. We Have Arrived F1 is nothing but Formula One. And I'm definitely going to upload some uploaded videos. So we're going to go live starting in 2 weeks on the other YouTube channel. So please subscribe to We Have Arrived Formula One YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much.
Hmm.
Thank you, Josh. We did an hour. That's why I was rushing you through it.
Yeah, that's good. You know,
Say goodbye.
I don't know what the hell's going on with Mercedes. I was actually considering buying an upscale Mercedes until this, and I said, hell no. And I tell you what, I don't drink Red Bull anymore for a number of reasons. But I got so turned off by that little whining bit by the team manager and their number one driver that just turns me off so badly.
Well, save your energy
I
because we have a
won't
long
buy Red
season.
Bull.
We have a long season ahead of us to save your energy. But thank you guys. Like I said, please subscribe to We Have Arrived Formula One YouTube channel because we're going to start going live after the race on that channel, not this channel. So please subscribe and make sure you hit the bell button to get all the notifications and share this video. Thank you guys. Bye. Say bye, Judge. All right, Judge. I'll give you a call later.
Ciao.
Ciao. All right, guys. Yeah. So, like I said, subscribe to We Have Arrived Formula One. I'm not going to go live on this channel doing Formula One. It's going to be on the Formula One channel. We Have Arrived. It's an actual YouTube channel. So, go there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Bye.